All right, guys, some new Buffy content is coming. I'm just cooking in the kitchen. But let us get to some other horror, comedy, other news. So now Diane Lane is joining the new Exorcist with Mike, and she's joining ScarJo. So, okay, that's very interesting. So now we have a very star-studded cast. So this beats the last attempt, Believer, with David Gordon Green. And I know that there have been a ton of pretty good videos. I did a few videos making fun of Green and Believer. I don't think it's as trashy as some people were saying, but it was not good. It was not good. It was frankly very laughable. Right? Even some moments I can still remember. The body, the blood, the body, the blood, the body, the blood. Oh, okay. Really weird vocals. Young girl at a church. Wow. We're really innovating the horror genre. And again, I'm not here to do a hate video on David Gordon Green, but apparently Friedkin, when he heard that David was going to do The Exorcist, he's like, really? So the guy who did the really lousy Halloween films, he's going to do my film? I'd rather be dead. Ouch. Ouch. So tragically, we lost Bill a few years ago. We don't know for sure what he would have thought of Mike's version. So we have to be very careful. That said, Mike is on the record. They will not be doing Believer. Believer was being set up as a new trilogy. And I'm kind of torn about it because I think usually, even if it's a bad chapter, take what is good in the prior chapter and move forward. That said, exceptions to the rule. Believer was not all terrible. It had some good ideas, which now unfortunately will not matter anymore, but they were teasing some good things at the end. So, yeah, it's kind of sad. Kind of sad. And I'm also torn because Believer, I know it sounds ridiculous, but canonically it is tied to the original classic film. They played this trick with the Halloween trilogy and they did it again. So, good or bad, believe it or not, Believer is a sequel to the first film. Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. My understanding is the Mike film will be wholly new. Maybe a reboot, maybe revisit, maybe they will even remake the first film, but it is not a sequel. It is going to be its own thing with its own universe. All we know for sure is that Believer, they're shutting the door. So the Blumhouse projected trilogy will not be. But let's be totally honest, if this is a massive hit, they're going to make like 10 sequels. But it's too early to tell. But I do like Diane Lane. She did a very good job in the Snyder trilogy. Very good in Man of Steel. Very good in BVS. And her performance in the Snyder Cut is really good. Although it's a little tricky. And we'll do some updates there because it's a little tricky now. Unfortunately, she also did the Justice Cut. And again, I admire Joss Whedon. I'm a Joss Whedon defender. But yeah, that is one of the worst films I've ever seen. It is incredibly bad. I'd have to say it's actually worse than Believer by a large amount. And Believer was not that good. So it's sad. It's sad. It's very sad. But when she's given the right material and right script, Diane Lane is no joke. So whatever else, this will be a very well acted film. And again, Believer had a few stars, but this one is like, they are bringing out the major guns. And Mike is usually very good with big actors and small actors. So fingers crossed. And speaking of the Kingverse, which Mike is a frequent traveler to, having now done officially a few adaptations. And if you do interviews and just know the guy, he's a very big King fanatic. He is not, however, a part of the production of It. Although maybe they will bring him into It because for now, this kind of weird negative news, it has not yet been renewed. Which is kind of curious because it seemed to get good ratings. Fans liked it. Get fairly good RT score, fairly good critical rating, and all that. So what is the holdup? Now, the Hollywood Reporter said in its January 21st issue that it's under development, which can be taken two ways. One, that they are actually developing it, though why developing and not just do it, don't know. But if they do it, it will come out in 2027, 2028. Huh. Remember, nowadays, shows are much different from back in the day. Before, it was like 20 episodes per season. Now, you'll be lucky you get 7 episodes. But again, if they do it, it will be presumably, 9 episodes in 2028. So why the holdup? Well, these things are very expensive. Added to this, Muschietti is still technically, he is still tied to the Batman film, although he's been back and forth. They are telling him they are still talking, which is weird because Gunn was very, very promoting his Flash film, defending it, said it's one of the best films he's ever seen. And now with Batman, he's like, maybe, maybe not. They now have a writer for the Batman, so that's good. But yeah, a lot of delays. Now, I have to be honest here that I did not care for it. I've only seen the first couple episodes, but I was not impressed. It is hard to describe. If you read the novel, I'm not spoiling anything because the novel is very weird. It basically has two major stories set in the past, and then King does radical leaping of time back and forth. And none of the adaptations so far have captured that. I will give Muschietti credit by having part 1 and part 2. They did more of the plot. So many things in the plot that the earlier TV adaptation did, just completely ignored large sections of the book, which unfortunately was very, very tragic. However, even though Muschietti at least got to some of the plot that was missing in the earlier adaptation, I don't think he understands the material very well, frankly. I do give them a lot of credit. They made some bold choices in the first film, which I don't want to spoil, but let's just say that Pennywise, they go full clown. I mean, I think the earlier version is much more scary. However, the Tim version, while very clownish, did not take the clown identity too seriously. You got to give Bill Skarsgård that. He takes the whole clown identity very, very seriously. So I will say that. At least the character of Pennywise as a clown is done to the maximum. But for me, it's time to move on. Either we do it all over again from the rock bottom to the tippity top. And yes, I have read the book. In fact, I've gone overboard. I've read the entire Dark Tower mythology, all 30 books. I've read all of it. So it just feels like a very mangled set of movies and TV shows at this point. However, I do appreciate the Easter eggs, like the turtle. Yeah, the turtle shows up in very weird ways, which I appreciate. So I do appreciate the Easter eggs and little moments. But the story as a whole, I just feel is like really too broken at this point. But they set up many interesting things in season 1. I will be curious if they fulfill the promise of season 2. But if they don't renew it, I'm not going to be sad. But given HBO, they do have the rights. They're going to do something. Maybe a small miniseries, maybe one TV special. I don't think this is the end of Pennywise. They're making too much money from Pennywise. But do they really want to do more investment in the Pennywise universe? I am skeptical. So for now, they're developing, but other reports are like, no, it's not getting renewed. But it's only for now. So I will do an update. Again, if they don't, it is what it is. But if they do, I'll be curious. But for now, I would vote no. Either start over or do something else. But that is me. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Please subscribe. More updates and more commentaries and analyses coming. Have a good day.